the human endocrine system. Anatomical locations of the major endocrine glands in the body can be seen here. The hypothalamus, the pineal gland, and the pituitary gland are located in the brain. The thyroid and the parathyroid are located in the neck. The thymus lies ventral to the thorax. The adrenal glands and pancreas are located in the pelvic cavity. A pair of testes is located outside the pelvic cavity in the scrotum. The ovaries in females are located in the abdominal cavity.
This is the story of how cholera changed my village. Tiny germs of cholera, too small to see, spread through the river. So small, yet so dangerous. Without realizing, women carried cholera home in the water. Flies carried cholera on their feet. Unwashed hands spread it too. We swallowed cholera germs in our water, on our food, and on our fingers. It happened so fast. By morning, my father was very sick. He had diarrhea that looked like gray water and poured out of him. I was so scared. I went for help. One look at my father and the nurse knew it was cholera. We had to work fast to save him. We made a special drink to help him. First, we made the water safe. We filtered it through cloth and boiled it for 1 minute. Then we mixed half a teaspoon of salt and 6 teaspoons of sugar in 1 liter of this safe water. It tasted like tears, not too salty. I worried my father would die before my eyes, but he soon felt a little stronger. The nurse explained to me that not everyone who swallows cholera germs gets sick like my father, but they can still spread the disease. Now I needed to take safe water to my village and teach them how to protect themselves from cholera. I found a mother preparing unsafe food. I told her, first, we must wash our hands with safe water. Then, we had to wash and peel the food, cook it and always eat it hot. Our village became healthy. Now we filter and boil our water to make sure it is safe. We always use latrines and always wash our hands after.
These are diseases that affect the endocrine system. Cardiovascular endocrinology. Hormones influence many aspects of the cardiovascular system, which includes the heart and blood vessels. Some hormones imbalance can increase blood pressure and raise levels of lipids, which are risk for heart disease and strokes. Diabetes is a condition in which the pancreas does not produce enough of the hormone insulin, or the body does not effectively use the insulin it does produce. Growth disorders. Endocrine system diseases often result in growth disorders. If the body produces too much hormone, gigantism or acromegaly can occur. Too little growth hormone results a condition called growth hormone deficiency. Osteoporosis, condition in which bones become fragile and more likely to break. Graves' disease is a condition in which the thyroid gland makes too much thyroid hormone. Pituitary disorder is a progressive disease caused by excessive production of secretion of pituitary hormones. Thyroid cancer, disease that you get when abnormal cells begin to grow up in your thyroid gland, is a thyroid neoplasm that is malignant. Polycystic ovary syndrome, condition associated with symptoms of infrequent or irregular menstruation, male hormone excess, symptoms like hirsutism and acne and difficulty to conceive. Allison's disease occurs when the adrenal glands, which are located at the top of each kidney, produce an insufficient amount of steroid hormones. Cushing syndromes, increased secretion of corticosteroids by the adrenal glands, occurs as a result of too much cortisol in the blood for an extended period of time. Thyroid conditions. Thyroid hormones, hormones produced by the thyroid gland, influence nearly all of the body symptoms. Thyroid problems include hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, thyroid nodules, thyroid cancer, and more.
Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about the endocrine system diseases and their main treatments. Diabetes. There are two types of diabetes. Type 1 is mainly treated with insulin, exercise, and a diabetic diet. Diabetes type mainly talks about reducing weight and keeping a diabetic diet and doing exercise. Growth hormone diseases. There are several types of growth hormone diseases. One of them is giantism. Giantism is a growth hormone hypersecretion that begins during childhood. Treatment is done by surgery and sometimes radiation to the pituitary gland. Dwarfism is an abnormal underdevelopment occurring in children. Can be the result of a cranial hemorrhage during birth. Treatment is mainly somatotrophin. Acromegaly is a growth hypersecretion occurring in adulthood. Enlargement of feet, hand, lower jaw protruders, tongue, and skin. Osteoporosis treatment includes exercise and the right amount of calcium in your diet. Taking too much calcium can cause kidney stones. Adults tend to lower the levels of vitamin D, which helps in the absorption of calcium. We should avoid that. Thank you.
Prevention of diseases. Each of the diseases mentioned has a different method for preventing it. For diabetes prevention, doing more exercise, eating plenty of fiber, eating whole grains, losing extra weight, eating healthy instead of making too many diets. But there is also diabetes that is inherited, and this cannot be completely prevented. For osteoporosis prevention, consuming between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams of calcium depending on the age. Good sources of calcium include low-fat dairy products, dark green leafy vegetables, soy products such as tofu, calcium-fortified cereals and orange juice. Also consuming vitamin D. Vitamin D is necessary for your body to absorb calcium. Many people get adequate amounts of vitamin D from sunlight, but this may not be a good source if you live in high latitudes, if you're housebound, or if you regularly use sunscreen or you avoid the sun entirely because of the risk of skin cancer. Exercising. Exercise can help you build strong bones and slow bone loss. Exercise will benefit your bones no matter when you start, but you'll gain the most benefits if you start exercising regularly when you're young and continue to exercise throughout your life. For thyroid cancer prevention, people with an inherited gene mutation that increases risk of medullary thyroid cancer may opt to have thyroid surgery to prevent cancer. For polycystic ovarian syndrome prevention, there is no known way to prevent polycystic ovarian syndrome. However, there are steps you can take to prevent some of the worst consequences of the disorder, which are diabetes, uterine cancer, high blood pressure, and high levels of blood lipids. If you do not menstruate, inducing menstruation should be a top priority. For thyroid diseases prevention, some things that can help to prevent these diseases are using vaccines and not smoking, detecting cancer and other diseases in their early phase, and if you already have a disease, trying to control it. Unfortunately, cardiovascular endocrinology, pituitary disorders, growth disorders, Graves' disease, which is hyperthyroidism, Addison's disease, Cushing's syndrome, thyroid diseases, thyroid cancer, and polycystic ovarian syndrome cannot be completely prevented or not prevented at all.